The closing bell has rung, but the business story continues. I'm Robert Tan, you're watching Business Brief. Let's get started. The Rolls-Royce owned by the Discaya couple gets sold for a whopping 29 million pesos during the third auction of the Customs Bureau. State gaming regulator PAGCOR imposes stricter online gaming regulations. And Taiwan's president urges parliament to approve a $40 billion defense budget amid China's aggression. The government has allotted 9.6 billion pesos for the construction of 4,000 classrooms across the country. This was announced by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Wednesday during the signing of a memorandum of agreement between the Education Department and local government units to formalize a partnership to accelerate classroom construction. Marcos said provincial governments would receive 4.1 billion for the construction of around 1,200 classrooms. The DepEd will procure about 2,800 prefabricated classrooms worth more than 5 billion pesos. The president vowed to spend the remainder of his term prioritizing the education sector. This includes addressing the classroom shortage of 145,000 units as of December 2025. Contractor couple Sara and Curly Discaya's Rolls-Royce Cullinan has been successfully auctioned off. 9 remain unsold. The Bureau of Customs conducted the third auction of the Discaya vehicles today. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which previously gained fame for its free umbrella, was sold to its lone bidder, the Igorot Stone Kingdom Incorporated, for 29.026 million pesos. Meanwhile, the remaining units, including a Bentley Bentayga and GMC Yukon Denali and Cadillac Escalade, were declared failed biddings. 2 other parties participated in the auction, the R33 Car Exchange Corporation and television host Willie Revillame. A representative from Igorot Stone said the purchase was not only a business decision, but also an effort to preserve the vehicle, adding that the car played a role in exposing the flood control scandal. The sale generated 29.041 million pesos in revenue for the government. As millions of Filipinos turn to online loans for faster access to cash, the country's digital lending industry shifts from breakneck hyper-growth to a more sustainable yet still double-digit expansion, at least for the next 5 years. On BNC's Business 360, WeFund Lending Corporation President and CEO Francisco Mauricio says fintech platforms are leveraging AI and big data to transform the lending landscape.
How else do you see AI and the big data you collect from it changing this industry?
So I think that's the biggest change what you mentioned, where right now, I think what happens is, I think the noble purpose of our industry, specifically one hand, is we're giving credit history to the invisibles, right? It's so tragic, right? Because the minute anyone doesn't have any credit footprint, then the more they can't use higher or better financial services like higher loans or even insurance and the like. So once you give them a credit footprint, it leads really to financial inclusion, financial empowerment, national development, right? Yeah. So that's how we're doing it, and that's why that's a purpose of fintech, because we do serve the ones that traditional financial institutions like banks don't cater to, because banks use traditional data, proof of billing, proof of address, ITR, proof of employment. Correct. We don't use any of that. We use alternative data.
Mauricio says Filipinos can expect a major shift in how they borrow and manage credit as the sector matures and strengthens collaboration with traditional banks alongside innovations in niche markets. The Department of Public Works and Highways rolls out a blockchain-powered system to boost transparency in infrastructure spending. The DPWH, in partnership with the Blockchain Council of the Philippines, officially launched the Integrity Chain Portal, a publicly accessible ledger of the agency's projects and contracts. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon says the integrity chain complements the existing transparency portal by enabling accredited validators to independently check foreign-assisted infrastructure projects in real time. The launch comes as the agency faces intense scrutiny from the flood control scandal, prompting calls for tighter oversight of public works funding.
And this is what the President keeps on repeating. Now, not only do we need to hold people to account, not only do we need to get the people's money back, but even more important than that, probably, is we have to make sure that this does not happen again.
The Department of Trade and Industry is stepping up support for micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. Several private companies have joined the effort as the agency expands its supply chain and logistics center. Ian Maghanoy is on the line to give us more details. Ian, go ahead.
Robert, at least 12 supply chain and logistics partners have been tapped by the Department of Trade and Industry earlier today, further strengthening the agency's supply chain and logistics center to help boost the growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises. The new partners include the Association of International Shipping Lines, Fintech Alliance, Go21 Incorporated, Inline Logistics Philippines Incorporated, J&T Express Philippines Incorporated, JRS Business Corporation, Mober Technology, Procurement and Supply Institute of Asia, Philippine Chamber of Customs Brokers Incorporated, Private Express Messengerial Association of the Philippines, Shopee Express, Philippines Incorporated, Toyota Motor Philippines, and Victory Liner Incorporated. Representatives of these organizations formally signed their commitment before the agency as part of the partnership. Trade Secretary Cristina Roque said the additional partners will help MSMEs lower logistics costs, improve connectivity, and strengthen the movement of goods through better coordination and real-time support from the Supply Chain and Logistics Center. The initiative is also supported by a growing Supply Chain and Logistics Guild, now composed of 33 industry experts, providing advisory and technical support to help businesses improve their supply chain operations. Robert?
Thank you for that report, Ian Maghanoy. Meanwhile, the Philippine government is moving to make lending safer for Filipinos. The Securities and Exchange Commission warns the public against a new batch of unauthorized online lending platforms operating without proper approval. The SEC releases a list of unrecorded online lending apps and websites violating the moratorium on the launch and operation of new platforms under its 2021 Memorandum Circular. The regulator says entities that continue to operate without authorization face cease and desist orders, permanent closure, and blacklisting. Furthermore, SEC reminds borrowers to verify if a platform is included in its official list of recorded online lending platforms. The move underscores the government's push to protect Filipinos from predatory and unregistered digital lenders. The Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation is strengthening its policies on Know Your Customer requirements, advertising, and responsible gaming measures. Appearing before the Senate amid scrutiny over the social, financial, and digital risks of online gambling, PAGCOR faces concerns ranging from minor exposure and identity misuse to potential money laundering vulnerabilities. The agency says it is now implementing stricter identity verification rules requiring players to submit complete KYC documents, including a valid government ID and real-time selfie before they can even deposit funds. PAGCOR adds that gambling advertisements are already banned during primetime television and radio hours, with regulators now studying the possibility of a full-day broadcast ban. As lawmakers push for stronger safeguards, PAGCOR says its tighter controls aim to protect consumers while preserving the integrity of the financial system. One of the country's most prominent tycoons is putting relationships over real estate as SM Group's Hans C. speaks out on the company's decision to withdraw from Baguio's public market redevelopment bid. C says his long-standing love for Baguio outweighs business interests, reflecting on childhood memories and family ties to the city. He adds that his vision for the market was driven by affection, not entitlement, but acknowledged the community's deep attachment to the site. To preserve mutual respect and goodwill, Xi says the group chose to step back from the project. Xi says he holds no hard feelings and wishes continued success to those now tasked with shaping the city's future. The Philippines falls to its worst ever ranking in the 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index, dropping 6 spots. Transparency International said this country's low score outage corruption. Okay, analyst Arjun P. Aguirre of Ateneo. Okay, we'll just take a short break. This is Business Brief. Logistics is one of those industries most people don't think about until something goes wrong. But every production on a shelf, every online order, and every growing business is a logistics system that either works or doesn't. In the Philippines, logistics play a critical role in how fast companies scale, how competitive prices stay, and how connected our islands really are. And today we take a closer look at where the logistics industry stands today, the challenges it faces, and what it needs to change for Philippine businesses to move faster and smarter. And joining us today is Will Howell, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Finance Officer of To Go Group Incorporated, with hands-on experience navigating both local and global supply chain challenges. Good afternoon, Will. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Robert. My pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, Will, let's start with so many logistics players in the market today. Now, where does To Go realistically fit in the Philippine logistics ecosystem?
Sure. Well, if you think about the term logistics, right, it's quite broad, but very simply put, it can be the movement of goods and the warehousing of goods, right? And if you think about To Go in the Philippine context, we are the largest end-to-end logistics and transportation service provider in the country today.
Now, walk us through your services. What kind of services does To Go services provide, not only in logistics, but also in the transfer of passengers and freight?
Sure. So To Go is quite unique. It is, like I said, end-to-end. So we do operate a shipping business via RoPax vessels, right? We have a special container which caters to cold chain and ISO tanks. We do have a forwarding business, air, land, and sea transport, as well as express for parcels and documents. And we operate warehouses, trucking, and cross-dock, right? On top of that, as you mentioned, we do have a passenger business. Our ships cater to both cargo and passengers. And that is one of our, I guess, differentiators in the country today, right? Where we can run a scheduled service and deliver passengers and goods on time at the same time.
Now, well, from a business standpoint, what truly differentiates you from other logistics and shipping companies operating locally and even regionally?
So I would say to that To Go, as mentioned, we're end-to-end, right? So with all those different logistics services that we can provide today, we can cater to all your needs, right? So for example, if you are a local company that manufactures and distributes, or an international company, To Go can actually help you bring goods into the country today. We can put those on our ships as a freight service, get them to the different islands in the Philippines, into Vismin, right? As well as into Luzon via our trucks. We can warehouse those goods for you, as well as break it down into smaller order sizes and deliver it to store shelves, right? So it is truly an end-to-end service that we can provide to our customers today.
Now, over the past few years, how has To Go evolved, and what strategic shifts have you made in response to changing business and consumer behavior?
Sure. So today we are much more focused as a group, To Go Group, in those businesses that I mentioned. We have, over the last 3 to 4 years, have been investing in our business. So since 2021, we have invested and brought in 5 RoPax vessels to cater to long-haul freight services. We've invested in our cold chain business by the acquisition of reefer containers, reefer vans, right? Where anywhere from finished goods that go into restaurants or things that go into supermarkets, whether it's ice creams, poultry, and the like. And then also, we have invested in technology, right? Technology for that track and trace. So it's very important to the customers that when you ship with us, you know exactly where your goods are going to be.
In real time.
In real time. We can do real, especially in our express business. Parcel delivery, a lot of people ordering online, and you want to know where your goods are in anticipation of getting what you've ordered, right? So we provide that real-time track and trace for that visibility to our customers to serve their end customers.
That provides a lot of value, especially for those who really want to track their packages end to end. Now, well, when companies work with you today, what should they expect beyond moving goods from point A to point B?
So we are a very customer-centric business. We listen to our customers and where they want to go and where they want to be, right? So our teams really will cater to where you want to grow your business. We will listen to you, and we can help, take that logistics burden off you, right? If you choose a company like us, we will help you manage your logistics, get it to where you want to go, get it to store shelves, so that you can spend your time focusing on your business, right?
Now, is shipping still at the heart of the business, or has the company already transitioned into a more broader, more integrated logistics ecosystem?
So I think historically, to go is associated with shipping. Shipping does still serve as the backbone to our business. It's an enabler for us, right? So again, I mentioned the freight business.
Yes.
We also have the passenger business. But we are so much more than that. We have grown into special containers, again, the cold chain, refrigerated containers, ISO tanks for bulk liquids and manufacturing, food grade, non-food grade, forwarding. So very key to us is forwarding with air service, of course our sea service as well as our trucking service, express, warehousing, and cross-dock. So much more than shipping. We are much more than shipping today, but shipping does serve as a backbone for us.
Well, when people think about logistics, it's usually the movement of goods and products. But what's interesting to note is that you also move passengers from A to B. And what's interesting is that there's a lot of talk now in terms of travel. Very expensive air travel.
Sure.
People who want to go local, it's very expensive for them to buy air tickets. Now, where does to go? Where are you in this space in terms of tourism, in terms of getting people to travel more?
Yeah, so to go, as mentioned, we do operate RoPax vessels. That's freight and cargo, right? Freight as well as the travel business. Over the last few years, we have upscaled the travel experience. So what you can expect on our ship is a more cruise-like environment, right? So we cover 20 ports nationwide, from Manila to Batangas, all the way to the ports in Vismin. And you will really find that our amenities on board are top-notch, and we have a lot of restaurant options, and really helping drive that travel in the country. And what's good with To Go is, as a passenger, you are allowed up to 50 kilos of luggage as part of your ticket, right? So if you want to travel and bring goods to the provinces or vice versa, we definitely allow that on our vessels.
In terms of price points, is it a bigger difference of the price point if you're traveling on your To-Go vessels than buying an airline ticket?
It typically can be, especially during peak seasons. I would say that during peak seasons, our prices are probably 20 to 30% of what an airline would cost on a one-way basis, right? But you do trade off a little bit of time. I mean, of course, it's a sea voyage, so it does take a little bit longer to get to your destination. But that's
When you mentioned there are amenities, it's like being on a cruise.
Absolutely. So it's more than made up by being in that kind of environment. I've taken it myself personally with my family. The time really does fly when you're sitting there enjoying yourself with a view of the ocean as you're sailing, right?
Now, when we talk about logistics, how do you define success in the next few years? Is it growth? Is it efficiency? Is it reach? Or something deeper than the numbers?
I think it's a combination of those things, right? For us, we recognize logistics as an enabler for our customers. So we want to see our customers grow. And as they grow, we grow, right? And then on top of that, also measuring it into the impact of the communities. As you very well know, cities in Visayas and Mindanao are growing very quickly. And as those communities grow, we want to be a part of that growth and help enable that growth.
Are we becoming more connected nowadays? Not only, let's say, through shipping, passenger movement, product movement, but also getting to the far-flung areas?
I would like to think so, and I would say so. Again, we cover 20 ports. We recently launched our Siargao service, right? So now we are bringing goods direct from Manila into Siargao, as well as passengers, to help the community there, I guess, ease some of the cost issues that they've had, but also help them develop and bring more tourists into Siargao.
Yes, not
well.
only economy-driven, but also tourist-driven.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, zooming out a bit, how would you describe the state of the logistics industry ecosystem right now in the Philippines today? Now, where are we strong, where are we lacking, and where we clearly need to catch up in terms of our neighbors?
Sure. Well, I think in the Philippines, it's quite unique in that we have over 7,600 islands, right? So it is an archipelago that takes a little bit to move goods, right? You've got land movements, you've got sea movements. So I think operating environment, that is a little bit tougher, right? Given that the different, but that's really just geography driven. We have to live with that, right? Strength-wise, the country is really poised for growth, right? With 5, 6, 7% GDP, and as that grows, logistics will be very strong and to enable that, right? So I think, and then in terms of where we can catch up, probably in the use of more electronic exchanges of information, right? So today, there is still paper within the logistics business. And as one of the things that we're trying to do within To-Go is to enable our customers the use of electronic for track and trace, as well as invoicing, so that it reduces that complexity and makes it more seamless for our customers.
Now, how are we compared to our logistics players abroad in terms of operating environment, in terms of here in the Philippines? And what are the major challenges are you facing in terms of logistics? Not just like because we have more than 7,100 islands in terms of geography. What are the major obstacles are faced and you're trying to solve today?
Well, I think in general, and some of the things are being addressed by logistics companies as well as the government, right? So as we grow into Vismin, there are a lot of infrastructure projects to build roads, to build ports that will help providers really get into those areas and deliver for the customers, right? So I would say that that's probably one of the biggest things is the development of these things that will help not only To-Go, but everybody else, right?
When we talk about logistics, it's usually often seen invisible, but it drives the economy. And how do you see logistics shaping the future of Philippine trade, e-commerce, and overall economic growth?
So you're right. It is invisible, I guess, until things go wrong, right? But there are, thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably even millions working in the logistics industry today. To-Go and logistics players are really enablers to growth, right? So, as infrastructure spending, increases, whether it's government or private, logistics players will be able to help deliver that plant and equipment through their projects businesses, and also as communities grow, deliver those, consumer necessities, food, and just really help with the growth, right?
So now, is passenger movement and creating a better experience whenever passengers ride your ships, your vessels, is that also helping in terms of creating more awareness in the logistics industry that it's not just a freight forwarding company that moves products and materials or food, but also create an experience and build tourism here in the country? Not only for locals, but also for foreign tourists.
Sure. For us, definitely, it raises awareness about To-Go. We're not just a shipping company or logistics company. We do provide that travel experience, and a lot of Filipinos riding on our ships, as well as foreigners to some of these key destinations. Right, you've got Boracay, Coron, and as I mentioned, we've opened a route into Siargao to really help drive the domestic tourists tourism.
Is that one of the key strategies that make you stand out?
In a way, yes. We are the only large RoPax operator in the country today from Manila and Batangas. That allows us to really differentiate ourselves. We run a scheduled service, much like an airline, where our vessels leave our ports, depart and arrive at a specific time, really for the passengers, right? But also helps us with our freight business. So if you are a business that needs to move goods from point A to point B, we have a defined schedule that you can really rely on and
shorter waiting time.
Shorter waiting time. So if you tell me, I need to get a container into Cebu tomorrow, I probably have a ship leaving today. Very quickly, you can be at the port. You can be in Cebu in 20 hours, unloaded to your warehouse or to store shelves very, very quickly. And that is the advantage of to-go, is that defined, scheduled service, really reliable, on an almost daily frequency.
That's really good to know, especially if you really want goods to travel fast, especially in e-commerce, right, and drop shipping and all that. But well, now, in your view, what separates companies today that will succeed in the Philippine economy from those that will struggle, especially when it comes to supply chains and logistics?
Sure. Well, I think planning and preparation are key, right? You need to understand where your market is going to be. But specifically to supply chain and logistics, I would say, choose a partner that will listen to you, understand your go-to-market strategy, and build solutions for you, right? At the end of the day, you want to be able to get to where you want to be with speed, with accuracy and reliability, and also let that partner, that logistics partner, manage that part for you, so you can focus on your business, whether it's the manufacturing side, the sales side, and dealing with your customers, right? As opposed to you managing the service provider themselves, right?
Yes. Now, let's talk about costs. Why do logistics and shipping costs remain high in the Philippines compared to other countries in the region? Is that also one of the things you're trying to solve to lower the costs?
Yeah, so I would say a couple parts there. So one, again, the Philippines is quite unique, right? The nature of the archipelago does make it more expensive, right? So if you think about whether it's shipping or air, there is some double handling there, right? So compared to other countries in ASEAN where, like a Thailand or Vietnam, maybe it's more of a road network, which from warehouse or factory to store shelves. In the Philippines, it's quite unique where you go from the manufacturing side, you might need to be move your goods via truck to the port. There's some handling there from the port to your destination port, and again, put it back on a truck, right? So a little bit different in terms of mode. So that does drive cost, right? But that's also the nature of the country today. And then in terms of solving it, companies like us, we really look for efficiencies in how to better utilize ships, utilize assets, and make sure that these things are full to help drive down the costs.
In order to provide the best service you can to customers, what kind of communication lines do you have with the government, especially in the ports? How efficient the ports are, because if you're efficient from going A to B, but then when you go to the ports, it might not be that efficient. What kind of communications do you have to present best practices, how to make it easy for moving not only people but also products? And especially, when you talk about regulations, taxes, and those fees. What kind of conversations do you have?
Yeah, so we work very closely with our regulators, right? So we have Marina, PPA, Philippine Ports Authority, Coast Guard as well for the passenger side. We are in constant communication with them, really talking about how to, improve, even on the little things, right? How to gate containers in, working with the North Port and some of the other ports into Cebu and Vismin. So all lines of communication are generally open. Very constructive discussions on how to improve operating conditions and really help us keep costs at the lowest level that we can.
Let's talk about safety. A lot of course, passengers will look at safety and trust of shipping vessels. How do you take safety seriously, and what kind of reforms do you do in terms of how to create more awareness to those passengers and those companies moving their freight that your company is a very safe company to deal with?
Sure. I would say safety is our number one priority, especially with the passenger business that we have, right? For to-go, all of our ships are built in Japan, very high quality standards. And we have our insurance also is international. And what that means for us is we maintain the ships at an international class, right? So on a quarterly basis, we have surveyors fly in, really do a top to bottom on the ship, and let us know that these are things that you need to improve on, right? And that's part of our regular program within our ship management division. We do have our own ship management division that looks after our vessels. And on top of that, of course, working very closely with Coast Guard to ensure that inspections are done and we are compliant with marina regulations.
And finally, for business leaders watching the program, what should they understand about logistics today if they want to grow and stay competitive in their space?
Sure. Well, like I said earlier, I think logistics is an enabler to growth, right? If you want to grow your business and stay competitive, it's best to choose a provider that can provide you with solutions, understand your go-to-market strategy, and really tailor around what you want to do, right? As opposed to you managing your provider.
Yeah.
That way you can focus on your key business and really drive that and get ahead of competition and succeed.
And how can passengers or companies find you, especially those tourists who want to travel in a cruise-like way?
Sure.
Let's say from Manila to other parts of the region?
Yeah, so we do have a very robust app for our travel business. So you can find that in the Apple Store and Android, as well as our website, togo.com.ph.
Okay, thank you very much, Will, for joining us, for your insights, and also, knowing for people who just know logistics about moving products, it's also a way to drive tourists into the region, in Manila, into other parts of the country. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue after the break. This is Business Brief. The Philippines falls to its worst ever ranking in the 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index, dropping 6 spots to 120th out of the 182 countries with a score of 32 out of 100. Transparency International said the country's low score reflects public outrage over a fake flood relief project and widespread corruption linked to government contracts, slowing economic growth and weighing on investor and consumer confidence. Analysts Arjan P. Aguirre of Ateneo de Manila University and Ranjit Singh Rai of the University of the Philippines note that weak governance, limited accountability, and political maneuvering have complicated investigations, with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s Independent Commission for Infrastructure facing obstacles in prosecuting responsible parties. Transparency Group Government Watch convener Joy Aceron urges the Marcos administration to implement meaningful reforms, strengthen oversight institutions, and hold individuals accountable to restore public trust and curb systemic corruption. An international political strategist believes the race for the 2028 elections is already underway. On Billionaire News channels at the forefront, Vantage Influence founder and CEO Aaron Shaviv says aspiring presidential bets should already be starting their campaigns. Shaviv suggests that candidates should be building their personal profiles and potential alliances guided by public opinion research.
I think what's definitely true is that the 2028 elections are being shaped today. So in fact, if you're a senior candidate who's thinking about running in 2028, if you haven't started your campaign already, then you're too late.
Shaviv also points to a possible shift in the political landscape if the feud between the camps of President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte spills over to the 2028 elections.
Marcos and Duterte, I think these are today the defining dynasties. I also think because of the dynamic between the two, there's an opportunity for a third force to really rise in 2028. if the two sides are focused on each other and they lose sight of what's really important to the voters, I think that's a platform, a healthy platform, for a third force to rise and to make a real dent in 2028.
Demand for electrified vehicles in the Philippines is gaining speed as luxury car makers prepare for a shift in the auto industry. For Mercedes-Benz, plug-in hybrid EVs are expected to power expansion in the premium segment this year, with more buyers seeking lower emissions and better fuel efficiency. Our mobility correspondent G. Baroga has the story.
Electrified vehicles, or XEVs, are becoming a more common sight on Philippine roads, and the numbers back that up. Industry data show XEVs made up 12% of the total car sales last year, more than double their 5.5% share in 2024. Out of nearly 59,000 units sold, over 32,000 were from members of the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers. That includes Mercedes-Benz Philippines, part of the CATS group of Billionario Felix Ang. For its general manager Maricar Parco, the shift toward electrified vehicles isn't slowing down anytime soon.
We see that industry-wide, the plug-in hybrid would be the driver in terms of electrified vehicles. So we are looking forward to a full year of selling our PHEV product lineup.
Mercedes-Benz only entered the local plug-in hybrid segment in the second quarter of 2025. The company says traditional Chadengs still lead its sales, while fully electric vehicles make up about 9%. It also expects that beyond new technology, expanding dealership networks will keep the industry going.
Right now, the vehicle sales is concentrated in the capital region. About 45% are all coming from Metro Manila. And the network expansion to key cities nationwide will allow us to grow the industry further.
Competition in the Philippine auto market remains tight, but Mercedes-Benz says it's confident about its position. It is banking on the legacy of the brand, which will mark its 140th anniversary this year. Here in the country, Mercedes-Benz Philippines confirms the opening of the all-new Alabang showroom. Outside Metro Manila, Cebu and Pampanga dealerships are also set to launch, which will expand the brand's nationwide footprint. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
Taiwan faces a potential security gap as President Lai Ching-te urges the opposition-controlled parliament to approve a $40 billion defense budget designed to counter China. Defense Minister Wellington Koo warned that delays could create a rupture in the region's collective defense posture, noting Taiwan's critical role along the first island chain with Japan, the Philippines, and other Indo-Pacific countries. The opposition Kuomintang Party maintains it will scrutinize the spending and refuses to sign blank checks even as the U.S. backs the plan and announced an $11.1 billion arms sale to Taiwan last December. Lai stressed that the defense boost is meant to safeguard Taiwan's way of life, not to invade other countries, and urged unity amid growing Chinese pressure. Europe pushes for a digital euro as lawmakers back plans to strengthen financial sovereignty and reduce dependence on foreign payment systems like Visa and MasterCard. The electronic currency would be free to use in shops, online, or person-to-person, and ECB Chief Christine Lagarde said it would not replace cash or give the bank access to personal data. Supporters call it a pan-European sovereign solution to ensure Europe's economic independence, while critics warn of privacy risks and pressure on private banking services. If approved by the European Parliament this year, the digital euro could be issued by 2029, with pilot schemes planned for 2027. Google parent Alphabet is taking an unprecedented step in tech finance, issuing 100-year bonds as it invests massively in artificial intelligence infrastructure. The company aims to raise around $20 billion with strong demand from investors, some $100 billion in orders for the debt to fund data centers, energy projects, and other AI-related spending. Alphabet spent $91 billion on computing infrastructure last year and expects to spend between $175 billion and $185 billion this year, joining rivals like Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft in the AI race. Century-long bonds are rare in the U.S., and the move reflects Alphabet's long-term commitment to AI, despite some investor concerns about overspending. Google and Meta pushed back in a landmark Los Angeles trial accusing them of addicting children to social media. Plaintiff lawyer Mark Lanier claims internal documents show the company's engineered addiction in minors' brains, highlighting cases like 20-year-old KGM. Defense attorneys argue KGM is not addicted, pointing to her testimony, daily usage data, and the ability to modify or disable platform features. The trial could set a precedent for how tech giants handle children's use, with executives including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg expected to testify. Shares trade moderately higher in Asia after U.S. stocks finished mixed following a discouraging report on holiday retail earnings. S&P ASX, All Ordinaries Index, FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI, Hang Seng, JSX Composite, Nikkei 225, Thailand SET, and Shanghai Composite trade higher, while HNX 30, KSE 100, and BSE Sensex trade lower. In currency markets, the US dollar trades at 153.14 against the Japanese yen, 781 against the Hong Kong dollar, 126 against the Singapore dollar, 1452 against the South Korean won, and 3108 against the Thai baht. The Australian dollar, on the other hand, trades 71 cents against the greenback. In commodities, gold rises over 1%, while oil prices are mixed. In crypto, Bitcoin falls nearly 3%, and Ethereum is down by over 3%. Philippine shares end in the positive territory in the second straight day. The PSCI closes almost 0.4% higher to 64.98. Majority of the sectoral indices are in the green, with mining and oil rising the most at nearly 2%. Advancers outpace decliners 106 to 89, with value turnover at 9.2 billion pesos. The day's most active stocks are mixed, with Jollibee Foods rising the most at over 4%. Manila Electric Company falls the most at over 1%. And in currencies, the peso closes at 58.29 against the US dollar, up from the previous close of 58.53. Megawide defers the IPO of its real estate arm PH1 World Developers amid soft property market conditions and subdued valuations. The company says the IPO remains on the table but is unlikely to proceed this year, as PH1 matures into a stable value-generating platform. M-Wide notes it has alternative funding options, reducing the urgency to go public, while the broader IPO environment stays muted. The firm will reassess the IPO when market conditions improve, continuing to expand PH1's project pipeline and strengthen its growth strategy. Frutas Holdings Incorporated, led by kiosk king Lester Yu, will invest 120 million pesos in 2026 to expand its store network and logistics. The company plans to open up 100 new branches this year, including kiosks, casual dining restaurants, and community stores, with 90 million pesos allocated for the rollout, 20 million for commissary upgrades, and 10 million for logistics. Frutas has diversified its portfolio with acquisitions like roasted chicken brand Mang Box and bakery legacy Sugar House. The board also extended a 100 million peso share buyback program through February 2027, reinforcing management's confidence in the future growth. Italy secures Antonello Dauguasina's Renaissance masterpiece, Ecce Homo, for $11.49 million just before it was due to be auctioned in New York. The double-sided tempera painting depicts Jesus Christ crowned with thorns on one side and St. Jerome in a rocky landscape on the other, making it a unique addition to Italy's cultural collection. Experts say only around 40 works by Messina survive, with this being the fourth known version of Ecce Homo, alongside pieces in New York and Italy. The Italian Culture Ministry did not specify where the painting will be displayed, but highlighted it is part of efforts to promote the country's rich artistic heritage. Former Senator Mar Rojas caught social media's attention with a casual post about his daughter Pilar, showing a playful side rarely seen from the political figure. The post went viral for its slang-filled candid tone, with users finding the combination of his public image and playful comment both surprising and endearing. Pilar is growing up quickly alongside her twin brother Pepe, making fans cherish the family moment even more. And that's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Robert Tan. Join us again tomorrow for the stories that help you plan your next big, bold business moves. Only here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel.